Just a taste. Just a taste. Oh, yeah. Just a taste.
Welcome. We're back.
Hey.
We're back in action.
After a month off, man.
Yeah, more than a month, but we're here. And just like we're not experts with bourbon, we're not experts with planning or anything. But we're back, and today we're gonna try blackened whiskey. This is
absolutely
from the Metallica is associated with this.
Yeah, they paired up with one of the more famous whiskey or bourbon distillers and created this, and it's got some interesting profiles that we can talk about as we get into the show.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect from this.
Yeah, I don't know much either, but look, so here's what we're going to do, like we always do. We're going to try this 5 different ways. Mark and I are going to try it without ever like completely on the fly. We're going to try it. We're going to open the bottle. We're going to try it neat. Then we're going to have a quick drop. We're going to come back and do it cold 2 ways, one with ice, one on cold stones. Take another drop, come back and do a bourbon alchemy, where
bourbon alchemy. Getting in the lab.
We try it mixed a couple of different ways. We'll talk about that when we get there. I like the goggles. Safety first, Mark.
Safety first.
Always safety first. But the big thing to keep in mind here is we are drinkers.
We're not experts.
No, we are not experts. All right. We'll be back after the drop. Here we go.
Just a taste. Just a taste. Come on now, just a taste. Oh yeah. Just a taste.
All right, Mark. So we've got the blackened bourbon, although technically this is an unknown. They listed as straight whiskeys finished in black brandy caskets, but they won't really tell us what the mash bill on this is. It is some straight bourbon, some whiskey, some rye.
It wasn't. So I shop at Fish Paw in Arnold, Maryland, which is
right
one of the bigger and more popular bourbon and spirits establishments in the area. And their website, they've got literally hundreds of different spirits.
Yeah.
This was under American whiskey. This is not under bourbon. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, it's got straight whiskey in it. It's got, which just means that it's made outside of Kentucky, basically. I mean, it's a little more technical than that. But there's also bourbon and there's also rye. They've got a proprietary blend, so they don't tell you what the mash bill on this is. But one of the interesting things is sort of gimmicky that they do. So Metallica has this sort of branded subwoofer bass technical thing they do that gives this you can almost feel their music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
And so they took that same technology and they went to the black brandy cask that they aged this in, and they surrounded it with it. So it's sort of like, you know, Jefferson's Ocean or Sea or whatever they call it, where it's supposed to benefit because it sloshes around so much. so it gets more interaction with the wood. Well, they've surrounded these casks with this sound profile of low bass, which is a proprietary thing that they do, and it should technically, when you think of the science, change the porousness of the wood and cause the liquid, the mash, to interact with it in its own special way. So supposedly we should get more taste of the wood. Maybe, I don't know. We're going to see.
I didn't know any of that.
I've been following it long enough. I've been curious about it, so I knew that much. So let's crack it open, sir. I'm not doing well with my hands, so I'm going to use my bar knife here. Get into it a little better.
Oh, it smells like juice.
Oh, interesting. All right, I've popped mine as well. Let's have a little pour and see what this looks like, man. All right. I mean, the smell for me is I get a little bit of fruitiness, little black cherry, but it's not as strong as I might have expected.
No,
what do you get from the nose?
I think with the name Blackened, I expect it to be powerful.
I agree. I expected more char.
And it's got the music waves on the bottle. I just expected a lot of.
But at the same time, there are some real interesting, I'm going to use the word notes in this. Let's give it a taste.
I can definitely smell the cherry in there.
Dude.
Wow, that's not bad. It's actually different.
I'm kind of happily surprised based on the nose of it. That I didn't expect it to be quite as complex as it's coming off for me. Like I'm getting, I first get those dark cherry notes, and I'm gonna call it dark apricot, but I don't really know what it is. But it quickly goes into like oakiness, a little smokiness, a little burnt sugar-y kind of.
Sugar,
with some vanilla.
Have kind of a burnt sugar flavor, and I don't know how to describe it. And I was listening to you just now, but something about it tastes fresh. I don't know what that means, but it's like.
Well, it's bright.
It doesn't taste like. It doesn't taste like most burnt whiskey. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's got.
I don't know how to describe the word fresh, but.
Well, for me, what I equate to what you're calling fresh is there are some slightly brighter fruit notes than you would get in a bourbon.
Yeah.
And so you get that kind of brightness to it. And then, I'm surprised. I don't know how long this has been aged. They don't really, I don't think they talk about how long they've aged it. It's 90 proof. It is surprisingly smooth. Like it almost feels like it's been aged quite a bit because there's not quite the bite. Even on the back end, you get that nice warmness, but it's not overly, like typically with a good bourbon, you might get a peppery, bright punch that warms your whole chest. And this is warm and it's nice, but it's more like a candy fireball. Like
I'm very happy with it.
Yeah,
it's good.
I'm really glad because I had to buy the larger bottle. Like
we got the smaller one just in case, but I will get it.
But I had no choice. This is all that North Carolina I could get. And man, that's a pretty good taste. I'm happily surprised. So I tell you what, let's go to a break. Folks that are watching, if you have thoughts or questions, send them out there. We're going to come back and we're going to try it cold 2 different ways. All right, Mark, we're back. We're going to try it cold two ways.
Okay.
Which one do you want to go with first? You want to go ice? You want to go cold stones?
Let's go with the cold stones first.
Okay. I've got mine right here with me.
All right.
I'm going to go with 3 of them, I think.
Okay, me too.
All right, 4. Did you go 3 or did you go 4?
I'll go 4. You can't pull one back out. There we go.
All right. I'm in as well. All right. Let's
Gotta
give
put a
this a
little
shot.
more.
It's always interesting to see. I mean, it's part of what I love about getting you to do this show with you, man, is that I've been consistently surprised at how different ones change different bourbons, different whiskeys, different American whiskeys, whatever. Sometimes this makes a difference. Sometimes it not good. Sometimes it's like immediately for me, it's taking some of the nose off of it. Like
It makes it way sweeter.
off the nose, like I lose some of the complexity and immediately get like a much more like low key balance. And I'm not saying that in a positive way. It's like everything sort of blends together. And to your point, the nose for me goes slightly sweeter and less. I get less of the fruit sweet, just kind of sugary sweet.
I like it better without the stones than with so far.
Yeah, it flattens everything out. It's whereas neat, I got a lot of profile right up front. With the stones, I get very little up front.
Yeah.
Like tiny bit of sweet caramel. Ramps up.
It's got almost no peppery burn at any point. It's very smooth.
It's a smooth, it's a sugary burn. It's a fire ball, like a very light cinnamon, not a lot of cinnamon, but it's a light sugary burn. And so, yeah, with a cold with these stones,
It's still good, folks.
it's good. It's interesting.
Don't get us wrong. It's still good.
Yeah, but it does flatten everything out. It's not so interesting as it was neat. And it does ramp up. The first part is kind of flat, and you get a little sugary caramel almost thing. And then you go to an oaky, slightly. Here's the thing that I'm really surprised about. Are you ever so far picking up on any smokiness like a charred barrel? Like
Not as much as I thought I would. I thought that was going to be the dominating.
Something called blackened. You would expect more. Again, it's good.
I don't really like burn though. I don't like burning.
But I'm not even talking burn. I'm talking that woody, smoky.
That's what I mean. It's like not the burn from like the actual feeling, but
That's
I don't
charred.
I don't like that too much. Anyway, so.
And I do like that, and I expected it out of this. I'm not getting it, but I do like the profile. But it's more, and I have no idea if it's. I mean. You do pick up this way, for me, the largest note throughout the whole taste. The back end of the palate has a strong, deep fruit taste, which I'm chalking up to the blackened port barrels.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the fruit. It's got like a sweet, like you said, like a burned sugar, which tastes like caramel. In the end, it's like that.
Yeah, but there's enough vanilla in it that it doesn't go completely caramel.
Right.
All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the ice.
All right.
I'm going to put in one of my rounded ice spheres, so it doesn't melt quite as much, but it will immediately start melting when the alcohol hits it.
I'm putting in a large ice cube from the Annapolis Municipal Water Supply.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to swirl that around just a bit, see what's going on.
It's very light color.
Yeah, once again, you would expect it.
Yellow.
Like, the bottle looks like it would be a little darker than once you, like, that looks like I ordered a bourbon and soda, really.
Yeah.
God, there's nothing. I mean, the nose is
Hazel Hayden now.
yeah.
That's a running joke for you comebacks.
For the regulars. It does.
Yeah, for the regulars.
It is a little disappointingly plain. like the ice kills the nose.
It's just not a strong enough whiskey for on the rocks.
If I get anything with ice, it's in terms of nose, it's maybe a little vanilla, oak vanilla.
It's just too weak of a whiskey to be used with ice, really.
Yeah. And I get the same thing that I got out of the Stones personally in the palate. It's like it starts off okay, but not a lot of interesting. And it's a sort of sugary, slightly burned, but not much, like charred almost, but not quite caramel. Then it ramps up with a tiny bit of pepper. When it goes to actually with the ice for me, I don't even get the dark fruit. I get not much of anything. I mean, it ramps up to a sweetness, but it's almost
that's about it. It's just
it's almost a cane sugar sweetness.
Yeah, it's not there's almost nothing to it. I mean, I drank it quickly because I like whiskey, but it's not
Well, I will still
say
say
right home about.
Out of bourbons on ice, which I tend to not like at all. I mean, this is very smashable. I'm not just like Basil Hayden when we did it on ice. It was like, why the hell am I drinking this instead of water? Because
right.
But this one has still got just enough notes. It's more of a sugary sweet kind of.
I think what we're finding out is we like the powerful flavors of bourbon and whiskey. So if it's not a powerful flavor to begin with, then on ice we don't like it as much.
I think that's completely
it just kind of like washes it out. That's the whole point.
Yeah. All right. So I am much more hopeful about the next segment of the show.
Me too.
Because I do feel like it's going to benefit from both of the things we're going to do to it next in our bourbon alchemy segment. So here we go back to a drop, and we'll come back on the other side. What's that?
Do you have goggles?
I've got my goggles, but I'm not doing the alchemy yet. I'll pull them out, man. I promise.
All right.
Safety first. I mean, if there's anything, we're not experts, but we are serious about safety, man.
We're safe, if nothing else.
We are real serious about safety. So we'll catch you all back after this drop and have a little fun with our bourbon.
2 minutes.
Just taste. Just a taste. Just a taste. Oh, yeah. Just a taste.
All right, you're back with us on the bourbon, the boozer. We are the Boozer Brothers, but I think we could easily be subtitled the Bourbon Brothers. And if you're not watching online, if you're just listening to the podcast now, you need to know we want to make sure that you are not worried about us while we're going to be doing some alchemy here. Both Mark and Mark are being very safe. We have our safety goggles, our protection. We are ready to go into this more chemically based segment of the show. Are you feeling good about this?
We wear these for comic relief. So if you're not watching it live, you're missing out.
It is definitely comic relief, particularly since Mark, it's been so long since we've filmed. These are actually new glasses. I didn't realize. And my protection will not fit over them. So I am literally going at this blind.
You're operating blind.
We are both going blind in general in terms of taste, but I'm going blind because I can only somewhat see what's going on. So let's pour ourselves one shot, a shot,
Yeah, one shot of whiskey.
2 ounces worth, something close to that, just so we're kind of operating on the same amount of bourbon. I know that we're both eyeballing this, so we're just
I'm supposed to know what 2 ounces is, Mark. We've been through this.
Well, you are an amateur. I'm a professional. I do this enough that I know about what a shot is. I mean, it's way too little for what I would normally do.
I probably got enough.
All right. Here's where I am.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty round glass. I think we're in the same spot.
Okay.
All right. Do you have your eyedropper?
I do. I gotta get some water.
And you have your distilled water, correct?
No.
Wait, what, dude? What is this bathroom?
I told you. I get my water from the bathroom sink.
All right.
And Annapolis Municipal Water Supply.
Hey. I'm sure that Annapolis's city water is next to distilled. It's probably near perfect.
All right.
So
how many drops?
Let's do 3, right?
Here we go.
Now, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right.
For anybody, I'm sure that I'm gonna take my goggles off, Mark. We've done the dropping, so I'm gonna put your glass on so you can see.
I think that's fair. We're
both operating blind. You because you got non-prescription glasses, and me because my goggles are so fogged up I can't see anything.
All right. So I emptied my dropper and I have stirred it around to make sure there is good integration of the water. I mean, we've talked about this a little before. It is really weird. Like, you were insistent. You were like, Mark, you don't understand. Me, Mark, not you, Mark. Okay, this is getting confusing really fast. But you were like, you don't understand. There is this Reddit stream that people are all serious about how. And I was like, okay, fine. I mean, this is truth. When we were talking about it, I was like, fine, Mark, we'll do it. But just know, I'm going to be the guy that keeps saying, this is stupid. It doesn't make any difference. It's ridiculous. And you're like, I don't know. Let's see.
But every time it does. And
you're right. It blows.
If you just go out there, listeners, if you go out there, not right now, keep watching the show. If you go out there later,
trying to send them away, Mark. What's wrong with you?
And you Google drops in whiskey, there is a whole subculture of people that they try everything. They take one whiskey and they do 1 drop, they do 2 drops, they do 3 drops, and they take detailed notes. That's not what we're doing. We're just a couple knuckleheads winging it.
Right. We're drinkers, not experts. But kudos to you for insisting on this, because I have been happily surprised so many times. I am so desperately wanting to be happily surprised by Blackened.
Let's give it a shot. Here we go. 3 drops.
Let's give it the nose first. And it did. It opened it up. I get more peppery notes. The sweetness backs off a little bit. Sort of beautiful, man.
Man, it's better.
It's clean.
It is better.
Smooth. It starts off with kind of a tease. You almost are like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, it's interesting. You're like, what's going on?
Get a graham cracker? Like a graham?
That is fair. There is a weediness.
Yeah.
That I think probably comes from it's the first time. Like I said, we don't know what the mash build on this is, but there's a weediness. And I think because of the vanilla and the slightly burnt sugar, when you combine the 3 of them, and they stay very tight in this taste.
You remember Honey Graham cereal?
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right. I think you're completely right. And it's that vanilla, slightly burnt sugar, and the rye, the wheatness of the rye.
Yeah.
We've not tasted before. And this is the 3rd time in the show where the rye is more pronounced when you put just a few drops of water, which I have no clue what the science there.
Everyone we've done is like that.
I have no clue what the science is there, but it's really quite clear.
It's such, guys, if you haven't dinked around with drops. You gotta.
Yeah.
It completely changes the profile.
It makes no sense in terms of in terms of the amount of water you put in compared to what's already there. Because bourbon is mostly water, frankly. And the fact that you could add a few drops, mix it around, and that somehow the chemical reaction causes it to change its profile. In this case, in a very for me, this for the first time went very dessert, like creme brulee.
Right.
You not tasting creme brulee,
even
right?
with the,
No, I'm serious,
no,
right?
You're right, because the caramel and the sugar and the vanilla and then the burn from the creme brulee.
Right.
That's exactly what it tastes like.
Like right now, it's the first time I would have not said it for any of our other iterations of it, but it's like drinking a less eggy, but still it's a creme brulee, man.
It's like it could be on the menu at Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, I'll just tell you this. As you know, we're recording on Sunday for the first time, and Sunday is the day that my wife and I go and enjoy a local bar as much as we can. And I did. I very much did. And even with that, I'm telling you, even though we haven't tasted the old fashioned, I'm going to be drinking several of these tonight with 3 drops of water because it feels like dessert, man.
Guys, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. Mark and I are trying to figure out when we're going to do it. And I said, Thursday wasn't going to work. Mark had prior plans. I said, well, let's do it on Sunday.
It was my wife's birthday.
And Sunday he said, well, I have a local thing I do on Sunday. So I'm going to be, and this is a technical term now.
True.
3 sheets to the wind.
Yep.
By the time I get out of the
show. And maybe a little bit high.
There you go. That's good. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying it was my wife's birthday and she may have gotten some gifts. I don't know.
Maybe.
All right. So let's finish this one and then go back and talk about our old fashioned. I'm switching up my plan on the old fashioned a little bit on you.
I'm excited to hear about it.
You shouldn't be. Frankly. All right, so the only thing I'm switching up is the sugar source. I usually use Turbinado simple syrup, but we ran out last week, and I haven't been back to the store to get it.
Turbinados?
So Turbinado is a particular kind of cane sugar out of South America, and it is rich and it is deep, and that's what I've been using the entire time for all of our show.
You're such a complex man.
Yeah, that's what everybody tells me.
That's everybody.
You're so damn complex. No.
That's right there.
This is how complex I am. Instead, I'm just using agave.
Baltimore zone, Domino sugar.
Yeah, I know. You're a purist, and I'm
a man of the people, Mark. What can I say?
Indeed, you are. And I can appreciate that about you.
Are we making it now?
Let's do it. I'm doing agave while you're doing your dominoes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna muddle yours? I'm putting agave.
I'm gonna do it here in a second. Have you ever been to Baltimore, Mark?
I have not, because I do have 2 friends in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I have never been invited, so I've never been.
That's shitty. That's shitty. All right. I do have something here, though. I don't know if my sister's watching it. I know she will listen to it.
Okay, cool.
I do have some new cherries. These are I'm not a bougie person. You know that. These are a little bit bougie, though.
Wait, you are rocking my world. You who puts the drops out of the bathroom?
Yeah, right. I'm not a bougie person.
But
my sister sent me these. I grew up in Michigan. She sent me American-grown Peninsula Premium Cocktail Cherries from Traverse City, Michigan. Traverse City is the cherry capital of the world.
Nice.
So these are actually pretty high life. These are the Miller High Life champagne of beers of cherries.
Yeah, I love that you use the domestic term to describe them, because I am going to be using my Fabrati cherries from Italy.
Oh my god,
As you pull up your fucking
dude, you.
whatever local kind of
Oh my god,
boozy
dude.
shit you think you're high end.
You are.
Right? I love you, Mark, but
Oh man.
all right,
One of us is
let's stir it down.
yeah, we're quite a pair. Quite a pair. All right, I'm gonna mix it up and then I'm gonna get some ice and we're gonna go for it.
All right,
Oh,
I got my ice.
I didn't put in my bitters. Fee Brothers Old Fashioned Aromatic Bitters right here. What bitters are you using?
I use Peychaud's. It's got a nice licorice edge to it that a lot of other ones don't, that I think work particularly well.
Are you using orange?
I am not. I am actually using the cherry. Dude, are you listening to me in any way whatsoever? I'm using cherries from Italy.
I knew that.
Literally.
But you do usually use orange.
Sometimes I do it. You're fair. Damn, I feel like a really self-privileged, over-aggressive guy.
You do like to use oranges. For the fans who have been watching, they know that I'm not really into the orange part. I'm more into cherries only. But
agreed. So yeah, I've gone. Maybe you have won me over. Maybe you have convinced me with your lowbrow, non-bougie approach.
Did you see me just like bare hand mitt out my ice?
Is that a plastic fork? No, it's not a plastic fork. Kind of felt like you were stirring with a plastic fork. Thank God you're stirring with a table fork, a table knife.
My ice was in this plastic cup. Yeah.
How the hell are we friends, man? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, I'm excited to try it though. I'm all set.
Honestly, I'm gonna say, but don't take. Based on our experience of all the different tastings we've had so far, I'm actually expecting this to be a very solid bourbon for old fashions.
I think this is going to be right up there near the top. I agree.
All right.
Let's try it.
Mark, cheers.
Dink it and sink it.
Dink it and sink it with obviously our.
We're too drunk to reference the guys now, but they know who they are.
But we appreciate them, and it's the only reason we say that because we love them so much. Damn. I was wrong. Rhett and Link. I'm wrong. I am completely wrong, at least from my palate. It is horrible as an old fashioned.
Oh man.
Like, if you think back to when we were talking about particularly the ice, when we use ice and how it ramped it up and made it sugary.
Yeah.
This old fashioned tastes like I'm like, give me the sugar. Give me the sugar. Put it in my veins. Like, it is way too fucking sweet as an old fashioned.
This is not too much sugar in it.
No, I use actually very little. For me,
what happened to your monk fruit?
Fair enough. But I use agave. I only use a little bit. What's your? For me, this is between the ice, which we already know makes it a little sweet, and the agave.
I don't think it's terrible, but it's not. What was the one that was really made the good old fashioned? Was it the Wild Turkey?
Wild Turkey made a great.
That made a really good one. Yeah, this isn't as good as that, but it's not bad. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't have just been like, "Oh, I hate it," like you did.
All right, so difference of opinions, but for me, this has gone way. I'm going to just talk my way out of this segment, so I don't have to drink any more of it, so I could dump it and just go back to the 3 drops of water.
You're not even going to finish it?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
Mark, I love you, man. And for you, I lift my glass and I am going to chug it.
I love it, man.
Here we go. Oh, God.
Oh, stop it.
There we go. Downed and done. So, Mark.
Oh my! I feel like I owe you something now.
You do. I'm just being honest. You do. It was a sacrifice, but I love you, man. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, while I did not in any way appreciate it on ice or as a old fashioned, which also included ice, I really like this bourbon, man.
Me too.
Like, I know
This is definitely gonna have a spot in my cabinet.
Yeah, I know 2 ways that I will not ever drink it again. But as an overall bourbon, as a person who tends to love drinking a bourbon neat, like if you need to put something in it to make it better, I got issues.
Yeah, it's a good bourbon neat.
It's
is.
neat,
I want to tell an interesting
neat and
story.
with water.
I want to tell an interesting story real quick for anybody who's
Dude.
still listening, anybody that made it to the end.
Dude.
Metallica related. My friend Keith Lowell Jensen, he is a comic. You can find all his comedy on Amazon and Spotify. It's everywhere. He has a bit about Metallica, and James Hetfield from Metallica heard it on XM radio and called him and told him how funny it was. And that was around the same time we decided on this. So I think the universe kind of lined it up.
That's kind of
for us
cool.
to talk about Metallica. Yeah. I was like, imagine your phone rings and it's the personal cell phone of like a rock deity.
Pretty amazing. All right, Mark. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the bourbon. And please, everyone, tune in next time to the Boozer Brothers. And we will make sure we advertise it and let you know what's going on.
We'll do way better next time. I don't know if anybody's even watching this.
Hey, look, all of us were struggling through COVID, trying to figure out how to navigate everything. But we're back and we're stronger than ever, and we appreciate your presence. We will catch you soon.
Spay and neuter your pets.
Hang with me for a minute. I won't play a drop.